So the brand new ES6 was just announced and launched, and I was bang on for the price. I said it was probably going to be 368k RMB, and boom, we got 368k RMB, just like my stock price predictions. Bang on, always bang on. And then 298k RMB if you rent the batteries. So very good pricing, and I think they've hit the nail perfectly with pricing, not too high to make it very expensive and inaccessible, but also not too low to hurt ET5 sales. So this is good move by NIO. I gotta give them a round of applause. Anyways, we're gonna do a quick recap of the whole event. If you live in China and you're thinking about getting an ES6, the all-new ES6, please scan my QR code with WeChat. You get 12,000 bonus NIO points. If you plan to buy it in Europe, download the NIO app in Europe and then use my code LEGPC7, my invite code, and then you get some bonus NIO points when you just sign up. And then you can also collect daily login rewards to get more NIO points for free coffee or a free merchandise. So this announcement was very different because they brought in a lot of NIO owners, existing NIO owners, to share different aspects and discuss different aspects of the car. And one of the first guys that came up was a NIO owner, a ET7 NIO owner that was also a designer. And he was a designer. He designed architectural design, and he works in both in China and also abroad in Germany as well. And he talked a lot about the design, and it was really nice, and how he talked about the different lines of the car, etc. Not going to go too deep into that. And then next up was a lady who's she is also an influencer, I guess, an influencer, and she works for this big auto review company, and she also has a lot of fans. So she talked about performance because she has, from her experience, she's tested a lot of vehicles, performance-oriented vehicles, and she talked about performance more, the braking, the acceleration, the stability of the ISS, which is one of the core features of this car, its ability to stop without the front of the car leaning forward or rocking back and forth, and also the new electronic CDC, continuous damping control system, which is very impressive. And braking distance, they talked about all that stuff. And then the whole event was seemed pretty scripted. Of course, they had practice, and they knew what they were going to say. The third family, so the third NIO owner that they had on was actually family. It was a dude, a female, his wife, and then his daughter. They all came into the car to talk about comfort. And of course, comfort is a big improvement in this new ES6 compared to all the previous other NIOs. And like, for example, in my NIO, these seats, they were not built by NIO. It was from a manufacturer, from a supplier. But on the new EC7 and also the new ES6, the seats are self-developed, and they talked about all the different cool stuff in the seats, and of course, you guys can see right here, very nice stuff. And I think this whole entire format, although seemed very scripted, was a much better way of presenting the car than just him talking about it. And next up, the fourth NIO owner that came up was actually an influencer. He also has a YouTube channel, and he's pretty big in China, and he owns multiple different vehicles. Like, he owns a Li Auto L9, he owns an Xpeng G9, he owns a Tesla Model S Plaid, he owns a NIO ET7. So he has a lot of experience with all these different cars as an owner himself. So when he came up, and it was more to talk about like autonomous driving, and boy oh boy, I'm pretty sure this was not scripted, but he went off script. He went off script. He said a lot of stuff. He asked tough questions, guys, and I can't wait to share this with you guys. So he was very direct. He was like, talked about 3 of the biggest concerns that a lot of NIO shareholders have, and that is, of course, why is NIO not coming up with a single motor variant? Is NIO stupid? This is what he actually said. He said that in front of The CEO, he asked him, is NIO stupid for not coming up with a single motor variant? I kid you not. When I heard that, I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy has nuts, man. And of course, the CEO talked about why, and the answer was because if you have dual motors, you can achieve much better all-wheel drive and more stability control for better safety. And that was his main reason why NIO isn't going with a single motor variant. And he said a big differentiation between a gasoline car and an EV. With a gasoline car, you're definitely not going to get two engines inside a gasoline car. But with an electric vehicle, since you have the opportunity to put in two motors for better all-wheel drive control for all four wheels, then this is a very good opportunity to make the car much better than gasoline vehicles in terms of safety and steering and driving. So that's, I think, is a very good answer to why NIO's not making a single motor variant. And of course, even though it's sacrificing sales, but I gotta give them both a round of applause, because this influencer, first, he got the nuts to ask those questions, and then also the CEO with a very terrific answer. All right, that was the first one. And then the second one he asked about was, why is it standard, a LiDAR system? Why is that whole thing standard? Why can't you just, have fewer orange chips, like 2 orange chips, and then maybe no LiDAR, and then also make the price a lot cheaper and sell a ton more vehicles? And he just said that in front of the CEO. All right, boy. He's our boy, man. He's our boy. And the CEO talked about how this whole idea of making it standard is to future-proof. And I think this is also a very good answer, to future-proof the vehicle, to make it so that even in 10 years later, and autonomous driving is progressed to such a state that it requires a lot of computing power, your car can still handle that and be still viable 10 years later. Instead of, if you only had one chip or no LiDAR or something like that, it might be very good right now, but it's not exactly future-proof. So that's also a very good answer, and why explains why NIO isn't coming up with a single, like a non-LiDAR variant, even though sales would probably be much higher if they did that. So future-proofing, very good answer as well. The third one, which he also talked about, and this was also straight in his face, straight in the CEO's face, he talked about why NIO isn't doing screens. And then a lot of other car manufacturers have a lot of screens, and him, as a owner for all those other vehicles, he can attest to how many screens there are in cars. And the most important, his answer for that is because he said AR glasses is much easier to store away and to put away, whereas with screens, it's gonna be there, and even if you don't want it to be there, it's always gonna be there. And also, he talked about if you find a good place to, put the screens, please let me know. He talked about that, and the influencer, he said, like, after driving his ET7 for so long, he couldn't really think about a good place to put the screens. So that's also something to think about. But overall, through this whole entire event, the CEO was constantly saying, before I let you guys know about the price, you guys can still put down the 5,000 RMB deposit to secure in these extra perks. For example, the free moon package, and then also some other free stuff. And clearly, this launch event is more sales focused, right? They want to get more sales. Whoever's watching the event to order the car, and if they're interested in the car, to order it right now before they tell you the price. I think that might have worked. Definitely, this way of presenting the event is much better than before. But at the same time, I think a lot of these potential buyers, they got to just try the car out, right? They just got to try the car out. And if you try the car out, you'll understand why the car is so great, right? You'll understand why the car is so great. And NIOs have always been very good quality cars, and the use of materials on the car is just top notch. So I can't wait to test drive this vehicle. I'll probably test drive the ES6 very soon, very, very soon. And stay tuned for that video. Also, some of the perks. If you're already a NIO owner and you buy the new ES6, you get 30,000 bonus NIO points. And if you're a founder's NIO owner, you get 50,000 bonus NIO points. And what's really interesting is if you're an ES6 owner, you get 6,600 RMB off. So if you're a first gen ES6 owner, you get 6,600 RMB off. It's just a little sweetener on top for the existing ES6 owners for them to switch, which is very, very interesting, very, very nice. And that's very nice of NIO to do that. Also, deliveries and test drives begin tomorrow. So that's very fast, very nice that they've done this instead of making them wait 1 year. Let me know what you guys think about this new way of presenting the car. I think it's a very good way of doing it. And do you like the new ES6 and the pricing? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.